I am your co-host, Cedric Parker, and my co-host Vicky Horton is not with us tonight. We wish her well during her travels this evening. Um, I am going to start the show with our promos tonight, and again, if you are interested in advertising on Deliberate Discussions, please contact my co-host Vicky Horton at 561-325-1488. Again, Vicky Horton at 561-325-1488 for any advertising slots on Deliberate Discussions. She'll be happy to discuss with you all of our available slots and prices and how long you would like for your promotion to run. I would also like to advertise the fourth annual Black Lux Picnic and Music Festival event. One of our followers of Deliberate Discussions, Rohan, this is his live event that he hosts every year. The event is actually taking place on Saturday, February 15th at Sunset Cove Amphitheater in Boca Raton, Florida. Again, that's the fourth annual Black Lux Picnic and Music Festival on Saturday, February 15th at Sunset Cove Amphitheater in Boca Raton, Florida. The flyer is there if you would like to purchase tickets. All the information is located on the flyer. I would also like to give a shout out to the amazing Coyotes. The Coyotes is actually has moved on to the playoffs. And they are actually having a game in Atlanta this upcoming weekend. So please support the West Palm Beach Coyotes female football league. And I will be able to report more information in the future about the upcoming playoff season. I will also like to welcome our special guest that's joining us tonight in Vicky's absence. We have Richard and Lamecia Hughes of GWBS. And I would like to give them the opportunity to promote their business. Screen.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight? Richard Lamecia Hughes, GWB, Generational Wealth Builders South, and we are a financial service company that teaches families how to save, grow, and make money through the power of life insurance and retirement. And so, if that's you, hey, give us a call. And so, listen, let's set that appointment and let's get you going in the right direction.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for that, Richard. And welcome to Deliberate Discussions. How you guys feel tonight?
Good. Listen, we got some big shoes to fill, so with Miss Horton, so you couldn't just get one person, you had to get two of us to be able to fill her shoes. So we're excited about tonight.
Now we are so excited to have you guys with us tonight, and I'm so grateful that you guys accepted the offer and joining Deliberate Discussions tonight to co-host. So we're looking forward to discussing these topics with you guys. I'm sure this will be hella fun and a great debate on all parties. Before we move on to the topic, yes. Before we move on to the topics, I do need to promote one more thing that I actually totally forgot, and I'm so sorry for that. I do need to promote the Parker Family Summer Garage Sale that will take place this Saturday, July 13th from 8 a.m. until it's at 6:30 Southwest 8th Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida, 33444. Again, it's a huge garage sale that will take place this Saturday, July 13th at 8 a.m. until we will also be serving fish and grits plates for breakfast, which will be $10. So please stop by early to gather to get your fish and grits, and also take part of the garage sale. There'll be a lot of great things there to up for sale. A lot of different people selling different things. So we look forward to having the community come out and support us. You have anything to say, Richard, about that?
No, just come on out, listen, and support us. We got some great items for the people, and we just look forward to having a great time.
Great. Thank you. All right. So y'all ready for the first topic here?
Yeah, we're ready.
Auntie Rhonda said, Marquis said. Thank y'all for joining. To all our viewers that's in the comments, we have Auntie Rhonda here say, hey, Marquis and Lamecia. Got Josh, hey, babe. He's actually traveling. So I am going to play a video, and then we will come back and to discuss our first topic of the show tonight. Give me one moment. Share. No, that's not it. That's not it. Where you at? Okay, there you go.
Well, the citation of a young woman by Toledo police for walking in the street on her way to work has caused outrage among the community. Now, Toledo City Council members speaking out. There's 13 Actions reporter Alexis Means with this story.
Toledo police officers rolled up on the 20-year-old woman and stopped her for walking in the street.
Hey, come here for a second.
Why?
Because you're walking in the roadway.
What do you mean?
There's a sidewalk right there. Stop.
What?
The woman calls her father.
Come down here. The police is messing with me.
Yes.
I'm trying to go to work.
She was feet away from her job.
As you're walking in the street, it's illegal to walk in the street.
She gives them her name and asks,
Why do you need my name?
Because you're suspected of a crime.
How?
Walking in the street is a crime.
the female officer takes down the woman's information. The woman tells them she's on her way to work.
You are not free to leave right now. You are being stopped.
They grab her to handcuff her, and the female officer says,
That's a simple citation.
police wrote her a ticket because she walked in the roadway when a sidewalk was available. According to the Ohio Revised Code, where a sidewalk is not available, any pedestrian walking along and upon a highway shall walk only on a shoulder as far as practicable from the edge of the roadway. Here on Albion, the sidewalks are all overgrown with weeds. We showed the body cam video to Councilwoman Venice Williams and Councilman John Hobbs.
So the thought of pulling a young lady over to give her a ticket for walking in the street is asinine. I'm disgusted by it. There's actually no way to justify it because there are no sidewalks.
I know some phenomenal community police officers, but this is not an example of community policing.
TPD issued 13 Action News this statement. It reads, "We believe the entire body cam video speaks for itself and respectfully decline to provide further comment."
She was going to work. Here's what community policing is. It is creating a rapport.
So, hold on.
That
That video goes on much. So,
listen. Listen. First of all, my biggest issue with it is you got to use discretion as a cop. You know what?
that
They
is
ain't had nothing else
that
to
is
do but to bother this young lady. Listen, if you just wanted her to scoot out the road, just hit your sirens a little bit, roll your window down, and say, "Hey, you get closer to the sidewalk." That's it.
correct.
Why they created this issue and this problem. And this is the problem with policing today. Instead of them trying to solve problems or get closer to the community with their actions, they do crap like this. And so then that's why it creates no trust with the community.
Correct.
It's crazy to me.
And you know what?
Correct.
You know what? It say that they're outraged about the video, but in the video, I like to dissect things. So in the
Hey,
video,
let's go. That's what we're here for.
they did not say. You can tell she's family oriented, and I'm so glad on the video on the news that it said she called her father.
Right.
Like, okay, so this is a girl who black father, is in her life, because she didn't say. Most girls or boys, they say, "Well, I'm gonna call my mama."
Yes.
You understand that?
Right, I know
But
exactly what
she
you're saying.
went straight to,
Right.
"I'm calling my dad."
Right. For help.
Like,
Correct.
and he came there, no violence, no nothing, and the community stood there with her to make sure she was okay while the police was there until her dad got there. Like, the neighbors came out, and she was only
So you
feet away from her job.
Exactly. But
Wow.
also what I noticed in the video as well is the fact that you have this expectation that she walk on the sidewalk, but she can't because everything is overgrown on the sidewalk. So
Right.
my question is, why aren't you fining these homeowners that's not taking care of the
First
weed
of
and
all,
all the
Yes.
stuff that's in front of their homes? Because as a homeowner, you are responsible for that sidewalk in front of your house.
Right. Right. 'Cause
Are you, or are you responsible for that sidewalk or on the other side?
No, so they're responsible for the sidewalk. So it depends on what the city ordinance is. But I understand what you're saying. So the homeowners created the issue, right? By
Correct.
not mowing their grass. And then
Correct.
here's my thing. And then the city didn't correct the homeowners.
Correct.
Nope.
All right. So now she working. Now she going to work, trying to walk to work. But I'm gonna still go back to the cops. It's two of y'all. One of y'all got to say, hey, baby, just go closer to the side of the road. That's it. And then the girl ain't say she was going to the club. She ain't going to her friend. She going to work. And y'all created this big firestorm. If I was their chief, I would suspend them.
Exactly.
I would. Because they need sensitivity. Sensitivity training.
There was a different way. Yeah, there was. It was a training issue. I totally agree with that. There was a completely different way of handling that situation. And it all boiled down to, like you said, Richard, like you said, Richard, hey, move over to the side a little bit, get closer to the curb. I know you can't walk on the sidewalk. Everything is overgrown. We want to ensure that you are safe, and if she was feet away from her job, they could have went above and beyond and got out of their vehicle and walked her there and made sure she got there safely, without being hit by a car. There was so many other things that they could have done versus, harassing her and putting her in handcuffs and giving her a citation because she cannot walk along a sidewalk that's overgrown.
Right. So here's my thing: that the officer's job is to protect and serve. So in that instance, they didn't go there to make they didn't make the situation better. And that's what their job is to do, is to de-escalate, to make things better. That's not what they did. They created a bigger issue. So now check this out. What they did to that family is now they've created doubt for the very people that's supposed to help them. Correct. So they're not going to trust the police now because, listen, my daughter walking to work and y'all harassing her. So now we got conflict, and and in America today, that's what continuously happens in our community. They're not trying to make things better. They're creating conflict. And when you create conflict, you're going to create division.
Correct.
That is true.
It's already created that. It's already creating it. Because now the councilman and the councilwoman had to get involved.
Correct. And it's so funny that you say that, Misha, because there is a part 2 to that video, and I purposely did not play it because I wanted you guys to hear the part. I purposely did not send you guys the part 2 because I wanted you guys to see the part 2 live on the show. So hold on one moment. Hold on
Please
one
don't
second.
make me. Do you have bleep outs?
So the funny thing is with the part 2, hold on, here it is right here. Wait,
and good evening. We begin with new.
Give me 1 second. This thing here, I need it to load up in the thing, in the queue. Perfect. There you go.
Details tonight in the case of a young woman given a citation by Toledo police for walking in the street. The woman couldn't walk on the sidewalk because of overgrown weeds throughout the neighborhood. This morning, the day after our initial story aired, city crews were out cleaning up that neighborhood. 13 Action News reporter Alexis to show us that progress. Alexis.
Josh, if you take a look right over here, walk where yesterday the young lady was not able to walk on. You can see they have cleared some of that sidewalk away as well as the weeds that were over it. But if you look further down there, there's no sidewalk, and the city says that they still have a lot of work to do. City workers were out mowing high grass, covering the sidewalks on Albion after a young woman was given a ticket for walking in the street.
We can finally see up and down the sidewalk on each side.
You are not free to leave right now. You're being stopped.
If you see the bottom of the screen, it says 308 cases uncovered. The same charge since 2019. So you have charged people. You have given people a citation for walking in the street because of an overgrown sidewalk, but you have given them a citation, but you have not fined the homeowners.
Yes, but since they're cutting it, it's actually their responsibility.
No, but they said that the city came out and cut that lawn. So then now the responsibility bears on the city. So since the city cut it, if I'm that girl's parents, I'm gonna sue the city because they cut it.
And I'm not paying that citation.
No, that's crazy.
That is absolutely insane that you have all these people that's received citations, excuse me, citations for the same thing since 2019, and it took this particular case to get some type of recognition and to have these Congress members to get involved for y'all to try now to go out to mold the sidewalk and make it, walkable for, the community to get past. That is absolutely insane.
Right. Oh,
I mean, I hate to make it a black or white thing, but it obviously is, because here's my thing. I would love to know the type of neighborhood that is that we're speaking of, because there's no way in an affluent neighborhood that they're gonna let overgrown go where kids or people have to walk into the street.
right.
And so, yeah, they cut the grass, but are they gonna continually make sure that it's cut for the next person a month from now when this story is over? And
Correct.
so it happens all in our particular neighborhoods where we get less service until there's a huge complaint on it. And it's just, it's I hate to say it's not right, but I'm sorry. I'm at the place where, I expect these things to happen. So when you said you had another video, I just kind of already knew that it was something crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
The
When
next
I saw
day.
too, I
The
saw the part two, the fact that it was done the very next day,
Not even
after this
24
whole
hours. That thing. Yeah.
not even
Listen. Oh my goodness. But
so it almost
Yeah.
makes me seem if like Josh just said in the comments, he said cops was just sitting there passing out citations. So it's almost like it was a trap in that particular area
Right.
where
Right.
they knew people would be walking down the street. The city can generate some revenue by handing out these citations. So I do think that
Right.
it's almost one of those things like, wow, is there a deeper investigation? Where it took this one
Right.
particular store, but
Right.
this has been since 2019, and y'all are just deciding to cut the grass, cut the y'all the thingies. I mean, that's
so
insane.
here it is. Another point. So another point. The job of the police is to protect and serve, right? So you trying to
Correct.
tell me that since 2019 to 2024, no other cop saw that this thing was overgrown, and they say put a call into the city or to the mayor, to somebody to say, hey man, this thing needs to be cut because it's becoming a
Correct.
hazard for the residents in this area. So no one looked to solve the problem.
No.
Right.
And that's what the police is, to solve problem, protect and serve. And
Exactly.
and they failed for 5 years.
Failed.
Fail.
Oh my
That is
goodness.
absolutely right.
I
That's a
would
great
look at
discussion.
that
So
couple
thank
Listen,
you.
I
I'm
heard.
gonna walk through this.
Listen,
I
I'm
am
gonna tell you.
not gonna get bit by no snake.
I know we got to move on, but I you know what? I heard a driver while black. I never heard while black. So now you can just add that to the list of things. God, walk while black.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, thank y'all so much for that discussion. That was a great discussion, and I mean, I'm glad that they're finally cutting the grass on the sidewalk so people can walk through without being cited. I won't say walk through with
Correct.
to be safe. Walk through without being getting citations at this point. I mean, that is
Right.
complete insanity. So let's move on. I got another video for you guys. In this video, let's talk about the city
I hope it ain't a part two.
of Chicago.
You want to throw a resisting?
Oh.
They handcuffed her, put her in the back of a
God,
squad car.
hold on one second. I'm sorry. Where the hell did it go? Okay, here you go. I'm sorry.
Official numbers from the Chicago Police Department, CPD reports a total of 109 people shot over the July 4th weekend. 19 of those people were killed. That far surpasses the numbers we saw over the July 4th weekend last year. Both the police superintendent and the mayor called the situation unacceptable. At the same time, they are sticking with their crime-fighting strategy. They say they made adjustments, including changing officer shifts based on what they saw on the holiday itself, and they reiterated this cannot be just a police problem.
These are 19 families whose lives are forever altered. And 19 families who woke up this morning without a son, without a daughter, without a mother, without a father, without an aunt, without an uncle. Over 100 people whose lives will never be the same.
The CPD numbers just released is from the time of the morning of July 3rd until early this morning. Weekend incidents included a homicide overnight in Austin. Police conducting a well-being check found a man on a kitchen floor in the 200 block of Central Avenue. He had been shot in the head.
Wow. So I'll start off with this conversation since I live here. Well, I don't live in the city of Chicago, but I live in the surrounding area. Right. We used to live in the city of Chicago. That number of 100 and something people this past holiday weekend has actually surpassed the previous 4th of July weekends here in Chicago with violence in the city. And it's obvious the strategies that the mayor is taking isn't working. Excuse me, like Darnell just said in the comments, why keep the same strategy? Exactly. Something isn't working. And I personally think not only does it start at the top with leadership of the city, but it also starts at home, because when you think about, well, what's happened is a lot of these children are committing these crimes as well. And when I say children, I'm talking about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old teenagers that's out in the middle of the night that's committing these crimes of robbing, shooting, killing, stealing. So my thing is, where are the parents? Why is it that you as a parent don't know where your child is at that time of mourning? And why isn't the parents being held accountable? I feel as if they start taking some form of resources away from these parents, they would be more active in these children's lives with knowing where they are. But it doesn't just stop with the children, because it's not only just a children's situation. There are adults and gangs also included in this. And not only is it adults and gangs, it's also a leadership problem as well, where it starts with the mayor, where the mayor does not work well with the police. Now, when the mayor and the police department doesn't work well together in the police union, how does that trickle down to the community?
In an uproar.
What do you think?
In an uproar.
Well, I mean, okay, so I it's so many layers to this.
Right.
That you have that you live in Chicago. All right. So for anyone that doesn't know, that I went to school in Chicago, outside of the suburbs of Chicago. So I know the area very, very well. And so this issue isn't, yes, they surpassed the numbers, but it's not a new issue. All right. It's a systemic problem in Chicago. All right, so I'm gonna go back, and so I'm gonna go back. I know you talked about the leadership and things of that nature. So even when they work well together, the mayor and the police and the superintendent, they still had issues, a lot of issues. Chicago's always been like Beirut type. It's always been that way. And so strategies, yeah, I think it needs to be a couple of different strategies that are being taken. But one of the points I wanted to make, because you talked about the parents. So think about it. This problem has been going on for, I would say, at least 30 some odd years. But let's think about it. So that child that was out was about 15 to 18. So their parents somewhere in that 30-year-old range.
Right.
They saw them do it.
Right.
That's why I say it's a systemic problem. It's a neighborhood problem. Because
they
saw their brothers and sisters do it. Huh? He just said the same thing. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. So the problem is so big. Yeah. So the problem is so big. So to say that they're not going to change the strategy, I just think that, that I just think that's crazy. You got to do something else different.
Correct.
Whether it's a Democrat in the mayor seat or whether it's a Republican, the problem has still been there. And I think it needs to be, if the parents start getting held accountable, that's going to change a lot of things. And I think you're right, because if they get arrested or they take away some of their resources, then I think that'll change some of the things. But then there's going to be blowback. No mayor or wants to have that blowback on their actual watch. But if you don't, some hard stance has to be taken, or there's never going to be change.
Correct. And then also the issue that we now run into with all the crime that's currently going on in the city, the city is also preparing for the DNC, which is the Democratic National Convention. So they're bringing all of these resources into the city to protect the DNC. But in the meantime, the city of Chicago is still a damn war zone, on every given day, every given minute, every given hour. So why are only these resources from the government only being provided for the DNC and not everyday consumption for the city of Chicago to help get this issue under control?
Under control.
I mean, that's
what
a
do you
good
think
question.
about
George.
I think that just from my heart of heart and knowing how things work from city to city and how things work in America, I guarantee during the time of that national convention, there's not going to be a peep of violence.
Right.
Now, you can attribute that to two things. Is it going to be because there's more policing? Or is it because the people that are committing the violence know that that they're having something? Because, man, people aren't stupid.
I don't think I tend to think different. I tend to think different, and the reason why, because yes, the convention will be held down in the downtown area, but also keep it in mind, when we have big event weekends, there's a lot of more resources and police officers on the street, and they still commit these crimes. They still, there's still a whole lot of stuff going on, even with something big going on in this city. And I mean, with the convention, I think that they will only get smarter, and they probably may not necessarily do as much downtown, but they also see these conventions as an opportunity to rob people even more. They're going to come up. We got this, we got that. We're going to come up big time and stuff. So I just feel as if with the crime being what it is in Chicago, that these criminals have outsmarted the police. But I also feel as if the police don't give a damn because they're not supported by the mayor.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Now that's a tough thing. So if you don't feel like you have support, then you're not gonna give your all.
You're not.
And so listen, your main objective is just trying to get home, and and
make it home to your family.
Right. So, but I really would like to know the demographic of the crimes. I really would like to know the demographic of where these crimes are being committed, because I don't think that these crimes are being committed downtown. I really don't believe that. I believe it's outside of that downtown area.
Because you hear about tourists that come in downtown and they do have crime.
Yeah, they get robbed, but it's on the outskirts of downtown. These things aren't happening. There's not shootouts in the middle of downtown. These crimes have been done on the outskirts of town. It's never been downtown, from my understanding.
You were scared when we went
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. What's never been downtown, Richard? The crime?
No. I said most of these crimes aren't being committed downtown.
Obviously, you haven't been to Chicago in a very long time, because at this point in the city of Chicago, downtown is one of the worst places to be at this point. So
on the outskirts.
Yeah.
I was just there in February. Right?
So there's still crime in the outskirts, in the south side and all that, in the north side, but there's a lot of crime downtown as well. But I'm going to read some of these comments, because we got some really great comments about this subject. Like Darnell said, where are the kids? Where are the kids' parents? We need to hold the parents accountable, which is true. We did discuss that. We have Norman Lee that said community leaders, government officials, and policies are all over the place. That is right, because it's so often that everybody has their own separate agenda and they can never come together with one solution to try to help the situation. So that's a great comment, Norman. Pam said, start taking those food stamps and money every month, and they will know where the kids are.
Don't take the stamps.
That is true, Pam. You start taking some stuff away, they be like, you done messed up my stuff. You better be in this house.
Right.
And it's so funny because Auntie Rhonda says, she say they are not including the community. And I mean, and that's a great point, because I do feel as if there are some community forums that they do have, because they've had them on television. But my thing is, how much are they listening to the community? And it's obvious with this problem being what it is, they're not really listening. So they do need to listen more. And great point. Like I said, Darnell said the same thing. I am sure it will be the same for the DNC. This crime will not go anywhere during the DNC.
Right. You're just coming smarter.
Yeah.
For his mother.
So, but then also, like, this is a great comment from Norman. Norman said, unaddressed, deep-rooted corruption, unaddressed systemic racism, unaddressed
Oh yeah.
social inequity and gerrymandering. Oh my God, this is so
Oh,
good. Unaddressed poor
Yes.
policy, unaddressed political focus. That is absolutely amazing. I love that comment, Norman. Thank you so much for that. These all contribute to the Wild West situation going on. It is.
I'm
Listen,
glad I didn't see it when I came.
listen.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said that. Listen, that's what I kind of, I guess I can't articulate it in that particular manner, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Because this problem isn't a new problem. You know what I mean? It's just kind of being brushed under the rug, and then guess what? It's just getting full, and then now it's continuing to grow.
I'm so glad that you said that. Hold one moment. I want to play something that I will say when I saw this video about this particular problem from the mayor, it did bother me. Hold on one second.
Uh-oh. He said something crazy.
So we cut off the pipeline of boys between the ages of 10 and 19 being either victims or the perpetrators. So, yeah, it is personal. Black death has been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time. We had a chance 60 years ago to get at the root causes, and people mocked President Johnson. And we ended up with Richard Nixon. I'm going to work hard every day to transform this city. That's what it takes to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago.
So what pissed me off when he said that, who gives a damn about Richard Nixon or President Johnson? We talking about now, damn it. We talking about now, damn it. The crime in this city that's happening now, that's affecting the city of Chicago, that's killing these children every goddamn day in this city. I don't give a damn about President Nixon or President Johnson because they wasn't living in my time. And these kids that's committing these goddamn crimes don't know or give a damn about them neither. What is the solution now?
Right. And the thing is, the game and the parents can't control these kids. Some of the parents probably did their best with these kids, but they let the gangs, and so they didn't have control over the gangs in Chicago. So the gangs started to get these children and start raising them. And so now they have an army that's built up now. And so how do you get rid of this army?
Okay,
correct.
I got you. And I love your passion, Patrick. I love it. It oozes out of your skin. But here's what his point is. His point is, I go back. This is not a new problem. And so what he's saying is, way back when we had a chance to eradicate it, it's no different from sweeping it under the rug. It's going to continue to grow. So if you don't do nothing, yeah, those kids may not know anything about who that person was, but their parents knew who that was. And what happens is, so they saw it, they did it, and that's what can continue. The cycle is continuing. And so somebody or someone or some policy is going to have to cut off this snake, because now this snake has grown 3, 4, 5 heads. So now the problem is just going to continue to grow, baby. It was just like you said with the gangs. The gangs getting worse, and worse. And so now they have gotten so big to now it's going to take more than 800 police. You know what I mean? It's going to take a different strategy. It's going to take a different approach. It ain't going to be no one thing fix all. It's going to have to be a series of different events that has to take place to be able to eradicate this problem.
Correct.
Well, and I totally agree. It's just unfortunate. I just personally feel as if with the leadership that we currently have, i.e. the mayor of the city of Chicago, this change won't happen under his term. Because this mayor, I personally feel as if he's never accountable for anything that occurred. And don't get me wrong, this crime has been going for a long time, so he's adopted a lot of this stuff, after term after term after term. But again, when you're talking about the community, they don't give a damn about what you adopted. They want to know what you're going to do now to help solve this problem. Right now. Lori Lightfoot, I thought, honestly, I would have given Lori Lightfoot, the previous mayor of this city, the #1 award for the worst mayor of Chicago, of the city of Chicago.
Oh my God.
She's moved to for my personal opinion, she's moved to #2. And Brandon Johnson, the current mayor, is the worst mayor of the city of Chicago.
Is #1?
He's #1.
Okay, I get it.
So and I get what you're saying, Richard. I get what you're saying, Richard, that it's something that has been going on for years. Great, that's all fine and dandy, but how do we fix the problem? Why do we have to continue to go from administration to continue to have this problem, and the crime only continues to get worse?
Because it's not in their agenda. It's black crime.
But you ran on that. You ran on that. That was a part of your campaign, was to tackle the crime in the city of Chicago.
And you've been in it 2 years.
Huh?
You've been in office 2 years?
Listen, he ran on that. Come on, man. Listen, politicians are hypocrites.
Let me tell you something, Richard. Let me tell you something, and don't get me wrong. And when I say this, and I don't mean any harm by saying this, but this immigrant problem has been more of a priority to this mayor versus the crime problem.
Wow.
Well, you know why?
Why?
Money. Money. All y'all, you bring them immigrants into your city. Listen, the federal government gonna subsidize them. That means more money.
Correct. That is true. That is true. But
come on, man. Listen. Politicians gonna run on. They're gonna always run on the issues that they think people want to hear. Always.
That is true.
Whether it's on, I don't care what side of the fence it is. That's what they do. So until this problem in Chicago, so I said to you earlier that I don't think you're gonna have as much crime during the convention, right? Because I just believe that's just what I believe. Because I know people pay attention. Like, all right, we're gonna chill because of this. But this is my thing. I want it to be more crime during the convention. I want to affect the other side because ain't nobody gonna do nothing until it start affecting other than poor people. Because it's affecting poor people, okay, no problem. Ain't nobody gonna do it. It needs to affect upper to middle class to upper middle class before people start to say, hey man, I'm gonna do something. Until that point, it's gonna continue to have, hey, that's just the black neighborhood. Let us just keep it over there. Let it keep. I ain't gonna say the black neighborhood. That's the poor neighborhood. So listen, we're just gonna keep that over here. No, that's the truth of the matter.
Okay. Good thing. Good. Great feedback, guys. Thank y'all so much for this, and we'll go into our last topic before we move on to the I mean, it's there's so much more that needs to be done. With that. A lot. I mean, it's just it's out of control, but hey, we'll follow back up on that.
Well, I had a good time in Chicago.
Thank you.
Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett just destroyed a Republican who called Vice President Kamala Harris a DEI vice president. Trust me, you're going to want to see this. Take a look.
At the end of the day, I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they can. They're in a box. They're in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president, and they know that they're going to be facing a problem either way.
Now, I know that you all want to read a loser when a loser says a thing, so I'm just going to let you comment on what you think about those words.
again, you know what? I want people to listen to them. If you just listen to what they say, it will tell you everything that you need to know. Number one, you can obviously see that he's ignorant as all get out. And number two, you can see that he wishes he had half the competency of Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't talk to me about what a DEI hire looks like, because we know that you have never, ever engaged in diversity, equity, or inclusion when it came to your office. So we know that you don't know anything about hiring diversity. But let me tell you one of the real facts about diversity in this country. We're missing out on trillions of dollars in GDP, and they can go and check the receipts if they want to, because we have the rogue governors coming out of the state of Texas that are anti-DEI. We've got the rogue governor in Florida and so forth. And so what they need to do is get over their incompetence and just try to get on our level and decide that they're going to compete and start to come up with actual policies instead of going after people because of how they look or how they were born. Instead, they need to focus on taking care of the American people, which means that you're going to take care of people other than just white folk. It means that you take care of brown, Hispanic, Asian, and everyone.
Yeah, wow. She didn't leave anybody out. She went for.
He definitely didn't.
Question to you all:
Oh,
Why
man.
do y'all feel like these lawmakers that's making decisions for our lives have a problem with diversity and inclusion in this country? Diversity, equity, and inclusion in this country.
Okay.
That's a lot, boy.
First of all, the office. Let's. There's no integrity anymore in the office, in these
That is very true.
positions, in Congress, and all the different offices that there's no integrity. There's no. This is the way you do handle the job. And quite frankly, in 2024, racism is in your face. It's not hidden anymore.
Right.
And so when it comes down to it, so when you got where there's no integrity of the office or the position you hold, and now you can say whatever it is you want to say live on national television, then you got destruction. And so we're still fighting for diversity. And I hate to say it, my grandkids are going to still fight through it. And so, and the problem is, so here's the problem. I heard this quote the other day. It's so funny that we're talking about it is. And so the gentleman asked the question, why are millennial Black Americans so angry, right? And so the response of the lady was, it's because we went to school together. And when she said that thing blew me, because I'm thinking about Boca Raton High School in 1994. And so,
telling your age.
Listen, we went to school together. We played sports together. We went to prom together. So we thought that we were bridging the gap. But until we got to corporate America, you did the same thing that your daddy did to our mama. You turned your back on us. You didn't stand up for us. And so that's why we're so angry.
Wow.
I like that.
I can't believe
what do you got to say, Luis?
I just can't believe that he just went out and said, like, just blunt out, like, okay.
Oh, you were shocked by that? You were shocked by that behavior? I wasn't shocked at all.
Shocked because who it was,
and the network he was on.
So
like
I'm not too much
said,
shocked
about. Go ahead.
But
I'm sorry.
it's just so bold. It's just so bold now. It's like before it was like they said it in not in such a bold way.
Yeah,
like
they hid behind
it, but now it seems like they can be so free to just say whatever they want, be so free to write the books that they write and still in the position that they're in.
Correct. Yeah. And that's why, and I'm glad that we had this discussion, because I want our viewers to understand the importance of voting and knowing who you're voting for, what you're voting about, and also holding these lawmakers accountable. And, holding them accountable is voting them out, because when you have people like this, I wasn't shocked at all, because I expect this out of these people. I call these people trash. It's just, it makes no sense that they think of us in this way, and they don't want to see any of us do any better than them.
Right.
If we just we got a little bit more than what they got, it's a problem for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And the fact that a black woman could be the vice president of the United States of America and could possibly be the president of the United States of America, which I know if she was on the ticket to be president, she will not win, because there's no way in hell they would vote a black woman into office. No way in hell.
Well, you know, the jealousy and envy is real.
What'd you say, Richard?
I said the jealousy and envy is real. It's
exactly.
always,
and that's exactly what it boils down to. You know, just her credentials alone, her everything about her runs circles around him. And so for him to say what he said about her, oh, she's a DEI hire. Like, what? What are you talking about? You know, so you have to vote. It's important that the community understands. And, you know, with this platform of deliberate discussions, we always put it out there every week, my co-host and I, the importance of voting and knowing what you're voting for, who you're voting for, and holding your, you know, your representatives accountable. Your constituent, these lawmakers work for you, the constituents. And what some people don't realize is that it's important to vote in these national elections, but it's more important to vote in your local elections as well. You know, it's and a lot of people don't realize that how important it is to get out in these local elections, because you have these people representing you and creating these laws right in your front yard that you are not aware of. So get out and vote. It is very, very important.
It is.
And you know what the biggest thing is too, because I get sick of all this name calling and all this other stuff. Listen, you got voted in the office to do a job. Do your job.
Correct.
That's all we want. Do your job. I don't want to hear no name calling. I don't want to hear anything. I want you to do what the Constitution has a line for you to do. And so we have went so far from, when you talk about these Congress and these offices, we have went so far beyond what it was created to be. And so, you know, and I ain't gonna even talk about, you know what I mean, the salaries and the benefits these folks get, you know what I mean, continually from us. And so, man, just do your job. Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear no name calling.
I'm so glad that you said that, Richard, because also when you think about when the government shuts down, so many people that works in the federal government, when the government shuts down, is affected by that. They're not being paid, but lawmakers that did not vote to keep the government open is still getting paid. They're not skipping a beat. Yeah, they're not missing a check.
They still going to the doctor for free. They still getting their money. Man, I don't want to hear nothing about no name calling. Listen, if you vote and pass the bills that you feel is great for you, I don't want to hear all that name calling, because listen, you got a cushy job.
That is true.
That the American people pay for those benefits and your check. I don't want to hear all that crap.
For you and your
life. Exactly. So, but no, that's a great discussion. I thank you guys so much. And I also want to give credit to one of our Deliberate Discussions viewers for providing me with that story. I'm glad that you actually sent that over to me. So thank you guys so much. And to our viewers that's watching tonight, if you have a story that you think that would be great for this platform, please feel free to send it in to my inbox at Patrick Parker, or Deliberate Discussions inbox, or my co-host inbox, Vicky Horton, as well. So thank you so much for that viewer for sending in that video. So we are down to almost the last 10 minutes of the show, and I would love to dedicate the last 10 minutes of the show to Generational Wealth Builders South. So before I turn this over to you guys, I do want to play a video first. So hold on one moment.
Got another video?
I have another video. I'm like prepared tonight with my videos, y'all.
Right.
I am on it tonight with my stuff. I was prepared for y'all.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
It's Tuesday. Yeah. We here to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Talk about it.
You know we gonna talk about it.
Talk about it. talk about it.
We gonna talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
You know we gonna talk about it. It's all about it.
Hey, GWBS, Richard Lamecia Hughes, Talk About It Tuesday.
Meet us at Facebook Live tonight at 7 p.m. sharp.
And we gon'
Talk about it.
It's Tuesday.
Yes. Thank you for that video. That's a great video. And by the way, if for all who don't know, that video was shot in Chicago,
Great
Illinois.
city of Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois. And it wasn't no crime. But
No,
it was in the suburbs.
It was in Yorkville.
Yorkville, yeah, you said it. The people don't know what it is. So listen, guys, listen.
So before we get into discussion, I want you guys to tell the audience about Talk About It Tuesday.
So listen, Talk About It Tuesday is a platform that we use to talk about everything financial services. Mainly, we talk about life insurance. We talk about the importance of retirement. We talk about the importance of debt settlement. And so one of our crusades is to make sure that our people have that information and have those products because it'll benefit your family. Our name is Generational Wealth Builders South. And so what we use our products to do is to build generational wealth. And so we would love, to talk with you guys. We're licensed in many, many states. And so we would carve out a policy for you that's going to allow you to build generational wealth.
Through the power of life insurance and retirement. And the thing is, we do talk about it Tuesday because it's a lot of things and a lot of products and services out there that we just don't know about. So we talk about it, and it's an eye opener. It's a table talk. It's something that you need to discuss with your family. We bring information in that you're like, wow, why no one ever told me about this? It's just like when we was growing up. Like when I was growing up, I was never taught about credit. But now I had to learn it on my own. So instead of learning on your own, we're just talking about different things and different strategies in the financial industry that a lot of people don't know about, so we can gain more wealth, so we can do more things with our families, so we can end poverty. So our crusade for this year, for the rest of this year, is Poverty Ends With Us.
Yes, Poverty Ends With Us is going to be our new crusade and campaign. And Poverty Ends With Us is basically and so look, this is an exclusive. So we haven't posted this. We haven't said anything about it. We waited to bring it onto the show. So Poverty Ends With Us, and we're focusing on children 2 months to 16 years old. And so what we're doing is we're talking with parents, we're talking with grandparents to get a policy, and build that policy. And that policy can literally change the dynamics of your family. Change the dynamics of their life. Then you won't have to worry about no college fund. It can be used for those monies. It can be used for college, first car, down payment on a house. That's what the wealthy do. And so one of the things I like to say is we got to find the money. Babe, you said something that was so powerful that we'd like to educate people and show them the things that we didn't know. Dadrick, can you put that thing up on the screen for me?
There you go.
And so, guys, so what I want y'all to do is on this screen, if you can zoom in and tell me where you see your bank at on this screen. And the reason why we like to say follow the money. What you see here is a list of banks in America that uses our money that we place in the bank to get insurance policies. So if you look at the top, the number one bank that has the most funds for insurance policies is Bank of America. So who banks with Bank of America? All right. And so the reason why I said for you guys to look at this. So if the banks are doing this with your money that you place into the bank, all right, why shouldn't you be doing this yourself?
Correct.
So they're gaining cash value off of your money. And so guess what? They offer it to their employees and things of that nature. And how it works is, so every employee that works for the bank, especially if they're in management, the bank gets a life insurance policy on them. and they also do it to their executives. But the bank is the beneficiary. So what happens is when the bank, if you pass away, whether you're working there or not, then guess what? All that money goes to the particular bank. So I can't. What's that number? 44? Was that 44 billion? Is that the number for Bank of America? I can't see it.
Yes, it's 24 billion. 24 billion.
Right, $24 billion. Bank of America. And then you just go down on there. I guarantee you, your bank is on this particular list. And so what we doing, what we tell our clients, if the banks are doing this, why wouldn't you be doing this? Because it'll literally change the whole dynamics of your particular family. Because you can, and so again, everyone focuses when we talk about life insurance in our community. Everyone focuses on the death benefit.
Yeah.
All right.
So much more than that.
Right. At Generational Wealth Builders South, we don't focus on the death benefit. We focus on living benefits. We focus on cash value. So, babe, what are living benefits?
Our living benefits are where if you was to come down with a chronic or terminal illness, what insurance company do you know that will pay you up to 80% of your death benefit while you're living? So all these other companies provide AFLAC.
Right.
If you have a life insurance policy, you already have AFLAC.
Right.
Because it covers all that information if you used to go in the hospital, if you used to come down with a terminal illness.
Right. And so we're talking about the terminal illness that they're talking about. Like, so people get extra policies like heart attack, cancer, all those different things. All those are built into the life insurance, and you're not paying extra for it. And so a lot of people don't understand that. Even with our term policies, the same thing occurs. And so again, we like to educate our clients on how to save, grow, and make money through the power of life insurance, retirement, and debt settlement.
Go ahead.
I do have a question. So even with some people that has life insurance through their employer, and it made me think of this. Lamecia said FLAC, because at one point I recall working for a company where I had life insurance through that company, and the company also offered FLAC as something additional. So what you're saying is there was no need for me to pay for the FLAC because all those benefits was possibly included in the life insurance that I was getting through that employer?
Not the life insurance you had, because that's group life insurance. They don't have any of those. Right. So you're only going to get those. You're only going to get those benefits through a private insurance. So yeah. Got it. But that's another way where they take more. They get the supplemental insurance. They kind of force you to get the supplemental insurance. But if you got a private insurance, you don't need it of that extra. And then not only that, but the payout for something like AFLAC or something like that, those supplemental insurance, you're talking about probably maybe $30,000. When if you had a policy of $100,000 and they're going to give you 80%, you're going to have $80,000 to be able to, if you need a nurse to come to your house, the baby or whatever. I always say that.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be medically. If you want to pay off your house, if you want to pay bills, if I know this is my last, I only got 4 weeks to live, let me go on a dream vacation of my life. Yeah, it's whatever you want to do with it. It's not just set for medical.
Once you get the money.
And y'all experience of doing this, in dealing with all the different types of life insurance, what is one of the most misconceptions you all hear the most?
The most misconception I hear with life insurance policies is that you don't gain that much cash value. A lot of people have misconceptions of IUL policies that is in the market that you can lose. If you don't put in, you can lose all your money. You can win all your money. It's just like 401k. But we don't necessarily deal with the variable market with the policies that we do. We do provide them that's in the market, but we try to tell you about fixed IUL policies where it's in the market, but you don't lose. It's in the index. If you gain, it's like a staircase. If you gain, you stay level. If if the market drops, you stay level. If it gains again, then you move up.
Right. It's a stair method.
It's a stair method.
I know we only got a couple seconds, and so
you don't have to lose.
I was just gonna say, the other misconception is, and I think it's selfish. One, hey, I only need $10,000 worth of life insurance, and that's all I need for you to bury me. But keep in mind, you have a wife, you have kids, and you have a house payment, you have cars, and all those things. So $10,000, that's just to bury you. I think that's very selfish. So if I want to provide the same life that I have when I'm alive as when I pass away. So and so we try to talk to our people about changing their mindset about $10,000, because we hear that, hey, I only need $10,000, I only need $15,000. No, you got a wife and a house, because the percentages tell us that if a husband passes away and they only have enough money to bury that husband, the wife loses her house and cars after a year. 1 year, not even 2, 3 years. After 1 year, she loses everything.
And the thing is, with our crusade, with Poverty Ends With Us, it's not just a financial campaign. It's poverty in your mind, because we have poor mindsets. Like a lot of people have poor mindsets. Like it has to change. Your mindset has to change. Your overall life for your generation, for your children's children, has to change. And so it has to end with us.
Well, in closing, because I know we're right at the 8 o'clock mark, I just wanted to, if you all could tell the viewers how they can reach you guys.
All right, so yeah, you can reach us via Facebook. You can do an inbox myself or Lamecia. You can reach us at our office number at 321-316-3932, or you can reach us by email. Is at office@gwb.info. And so yeah, and we'll walk you through the process of getting you and your family protected. And so listen, our campaign for the next 6 months, the end of this year, Poverty Ends With Us. We're focusing on children 2 months to 16 years old. Get that baby a policy. Change their life. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining Deliberate Discussions tonight and being our co-host. And
I had so much fun.
Oh yeah, this was great.
This was a great evening. I love you guys' feedback. And I know my co-host is watching, so I want to tell you, I do miss you. I love you. I hope we've made you proud tonight. I know you've landed safely at your destination, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday as well. To all of our amazing viewers, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you guys for, supporting Deliberate Discussions again tonight. And again, I can't thank Lamecia and Richard enough for joining us tonight as our special co-host. This was an amazing show. So thank you guys again. And to our viewers, we'll see you next week. My co-host will be back to talk shit next week with us, and we look forward to seeing you guys again. So enjoy the rest of your week and have a